All right, so let's jump into the day today, the Friday. I wasn't going to do a video today, but whatever. Might as well just get it done quickly, and that's it. So let's start off the daily here. Of course, this is where we were looking at yesterday at this POI, and we took the shorts from there, the beautiful shorts from there, and then I got stopped out on break even on the rest of my position on the 10%. Stopped him out today, and then it left the station, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. So this is it. We have a weekly high right here. Again, talked about this yesterday, so I'm not going to talk about it too much right now. But weekly high here, imbalance here, hidden order block or hidden base right there. We come up with a very clean leg, right? Very inefficient leg to sweep significant liquidity. Therefore, it's going to be very easy for price to come fill back up into this level at least. So where can we be looking at? Well, realistically right there is going to be my first level of interest, okay? And why there? Because you see these two down candles, right? Those two down candles are going to be an order block. Everything else within here was, again, within the larger order block. So this is going to be the first level that we're going to be looking at. If we want to refine it down a little bit, the next level will probably be this little hidden base here that led to the breakout. So essentially we can just keep that as well. Keep that in mind. Okay. So again, that's why this played out on the daily there. So 4 hourly. Yep, 4 hourly was beautiful here. So again, sweep this high again in that zone that we were talking about. And then we just had this break in structure on the 4 hour. So this was a beautiful 4 hour break. Okay, so now the way that it's looking, if it just ends right around here for the week, very likely that next week is going to start off and come up somewhere up into this order block now, right? Because now this 4 hour order block has not been mitigated on the 4 hour. You'll see on smaller time frames actually did get mitigated, but on the 4 hour didn't. So if anything, that this is probably going to be the next play, right? Because now we have high resistance liquidity here, break of structure, some clean leg to go, still haven't hit our higher time frame objective. Now we have imbalance going to be whatever this candle ends at, imbalance, and we have another imbalance right here. So we have, this is going to be our trading range. Okay, so but again, that's for future reference. Today was just right from here, right from these highs was today, and we've just been dropping. Okay, so super interesting today. What else was I going to do? Oh yeah, also this hidden base right here was what I was looking at today as well, with this liquidity pooling right under here. Okay, so super simple. This is why we wanted shorts yesterday, because I thought that this move was actually going to happen yesterday, where this was the sweep on liquidity, and that then we were going to get this drop down all the way to here. That's why I held 10% of my position in case that happened. But I'm also just going to mark off right now the 4 hour order block. 4 hour OB. And let's put that to the bottom there. Cool. So again, this is the order block that broke significant structure here. Now let's get down to the 1 hour. What I wanted to do on the 1 hour though is establish the weekly range. Boom. So this is the week. Again, this is exactly what we said for in the yesterday's video. Okay, the candle opens here for the weekly candle. We get that wick for the weekly on the weekly candle, and then we get this move up to fulfill the weekly range, which in this week it was about 200 pips, which is more than exceeding the average weekly range of Euro US dollar. And then what we were anticipating from up here, I said, well, the weekly candle needs to end off with a wick. And so essentially what we were looking at was something like this. Okay. And so now we have this weekly body like this, right? This is the body on the candle. This is the wick, and this is the wick. So that's how the weekly candle was anticipating to be formed. This was a textbook buy week. Unfortunately, I missed the buys. I actually got into buy, where was it? No, I didn't actually. Sorry, I didn't manage to get the buys. I wanted to get it from right under here. I didn't end up grabbing it. But then again, just absolutely ripped. So But again, just because you miss a couple trades or whatever doesn't mean you can't capitalize. And again, ended the week off with a win, with a nice win. It was positive. So could have been bigger, could have done stuff better, but that's completely fine. It is what it is. Just got to adapt and grow. So that should be it for the 4 hour. And now the 1 hour, you can see right at the 1 hour, this was something that was really interesting as well. So you see this is going to be the breaker block on the 1 hour. Why is that a breaker block on the 1 hour? It's the last down candle, right? That led to the shift in structure or the break or the sweep. And then immediately what happens is, if we're going to continue up, it should be going up from there. What ends up happening is it breaks down quickly, supports, breaks underneath, and retests it again, also at that 4 hour OB level. And then we absolutely die. And there was a little bit of confusion for a little bit here at this point, but this is where the trades were entered today. Okay. And again, this is going to be the target. You can even refine it just down to this wick alone. Really, because that's a big wick in there. So yeah, let's go to the 15-minute here. Again, beautiful order block there. Inducement right there. Okay. Now, yesterday, this was the idea yesterday, right? Where we had these equal lows and Asian lows, clean leg sweeping a weekly or daily. Yeah, this was the weekly high. And so at least we were going to see a fill back up into this block here, right? Into this block, which we did. We got it. That was the trade from right here to here. It was a 7R, 7.4R, something like that trade, which again, good, but I wanted to see it get down to here. I wanted to get the catch a biggie. But ultimately what ended up happening was on a lower time frame. I think it's on the 5 minute. Let me just, yeah, on the 5 minute. No, it's not. It's even on the 1 minute. Oh, no, right here. We sweep structure here, break structure here after sweeping a major structure. So you see this corrective move back. At this point, I should have taken out my position. Honestly, whenever I see stuff like this going right back to the origin, I know that there's likely to be one more move up above this high here because this is going to be the week high. But it was just too late. Like it was just late, and I was just off my phone and stuff like that. And then by the time I saw it, it was already above here. I was like, well, might as well get stopped out at break even. And so essentially what happened was today was we have this trending Asian range, right? Trending Asian range. The day opens up right here, right? 12 a.m. open. Look at where price gets up to. Okay, so daily open. What ends up happening? We have trending, trending, trending. We shift structure. Where's the shift at? Well, you could argue that it's this one right here, this little block here, but realistically, it's this one. For me, this is the one that I would have used. I would have used to look at it because it's the higher time frame one, and you can see 30-minute. It's a perfect 30-minute block right here, little breaker block. And then you can go down to the lower time frames and you can say, yeah, it's this one as well. But to me, this one was perfect. Inside it, you had this very clean breakout with a nice little order block right here. That was mitigated just beautifully. And again, this is the daily open right here, like that. And you can see if we're going to be in a bearish day, you want to be entering above the daily open, because just like how the week, remember how I said before, how this week was a buy week. And so what happens, we opened up and it went down first. And then, so everything above or below the open, sorry, you want to be buying in there because you're going to be getting it at the best point of the week, which is going to be in the wick of the week. And then you want to sell it when when you're close or 80% to fully close of the weekly range, depending on price action or where, yeah, any price points where, there's any POIs or whatever on a higher time frame, wherever those line up and you have confluence there, then that's likely going to be the high of the week. And then you get that retracement. So it's the same thing on a daily, right? It's the same thing as just a fractal. So when you have a daily open and it goes up, this is going to, and you're anticipating a down day, this is essentially going to be the wick, anything above the open, right? So you look at it right here and you can see daily open right here. This is all the wick. And so if you can get into any trade above that, then of course that's what you want to be doing. So this gives you a great opportunity right at 3 a.m. So yeah, 3 a.m. leads to that sweep on liquidity, that interim sweep on liquidity right here. So then you could know at this point that you're probably pretty good to go based on the timing. So you had all this inducement here, right? So you're just pulling liquidity right at 3:35 in the morning. We get this move up, quick move up, mitigate that level, mitigate the 15-minute order block, and you have this 15-minute range here where you have a consolidation, a sweep, break back down, and now this is going to be your trading range, right? This is going to be your trading range. So if you get a nice correction back up, where's your POIs to be entering a trade from? Well, it's going to be right here. And so you get it right there. You get that inducement, that sweep. If you didn't catch that, well, then look what happens. It breaks back down, right? This is going to be your breaker block right here. Because if price was to continue up, it should have kept going there, and it took out this high. So as soon as it breaks below, you can see it tested a bunch of times, and then it starts breaking structure. You can see obviously that there was liquidity pooling here, equal lows. But let's go to the trades for today, because again, because this wasn't taken out yesterday, very likely that it gets taken out today. And that was my logic. And I was saying that the low of the day is probably going to come in at around 1.408. Where is it? 1.408. Okay, we'll just put it right here. Okay, so this was the anticipated low of the day. If you don't believe me, go check out the group. It's in the Telegram group. I'll show you in a little bit, but you know, that was from 7 in the morning. We called that. So the reason being is because average daily range, if you don't know how to get it, use this website here, ca.investing.com. I just go to it's calculated over the past 1 week. Okay. Right. Over the past 1 week, euro US dollar, 75, basically 74, 75 pips. Okay. Well, here we go. Measuring from the top of here, 75 pips right down to here. Now, that's not the only thing you use. You have to use multiple different confluences to get to that, because not every day it's going to hit that average daily range. But there was definitely a lot of confluence around at this level that I was looking at, and then plus of how the day was developing, especially after you see the news sweep. It didn't sweep. Admittedly, I thought at the beginning of the day when I first saw it, I thought we were going to sweep these New York lows, previous day New York lows, and I thought we were going to start coming back up deeper into here, and then come have an aggressive move down. But the fact that we broke down and then news really just mitigated a point of interest up here, then I knew for sure that New York was going to come down from here, or I know it was highly probable that we weren't going to get a deeper retracement. So that's what we got there. Let's dive into why these ones kind of worked out here. You can see, first of all, that look at how efficient price is moving. And when I say efficient, I mean everything's being fully mitigated here. You can see it, every wick, every body basically is getting fully mitigated. And so at this point, as soon as we broke structure right here, 4 hour, then we can anticipate, where does that 4 hour break come from? It comes right from this 15-minute point of interest right here. Okay, so let's go back down. Let's go to the 5-minute. We can see. So I'm just going to delete some of this stuff so we can clear it up, right? So we have a 4 hour order block here, a 1 hour breaker block that it's in. So we have a lot of higher time frame confluence. We're following the daily order flow as well. You can see we have a 5-minute break in structure here, right? Because right here we have 1, 2, 3 break of structure. Okay, so this whole thing really is the 5-minute order block. It comes back up, it front runs it. So what that essentially means is that it's just inducing it, right? It's providing liquidity that's going to be sponsoring this level, meaning that if there's going to be buy stops above this, right? If there's going to be buy stops above here, that's going to be providing the buy stops essentially to fill any of the sell limits, the smart money sell limits that are going to be resting here. So it's going to be coupling the orders, and that's exactly where you want to be putting your sell limits, right? Where there's going to be buy orders. So you want to be the counterparty essentially. So anyways, that was that from right there on the 5-minute. And then there was another move right here. As soon as we swept this high, and it's more evident on the 1-minute, I'll show you, we swept this high, mitigated out of this, and then we broke structure right here. So again, this just going with order flow again, easy order flow trade, comes right back up into where? I thought at first that it might hold this breaker block here, and you can see it was rejecting, but then ultimately wanted to push up. And then this is where I got in my the trade for the day. I actually entered on this one right up here, but I actually waited to see how it got mitigate or how it mitigated. And so I actually entered right here, and then it went down, and then it took me out break even, and I just got in again right there because I took partials here off of that first one. So yeah, it wasn't the best execution on the first one because I wasn't too sure if this one was going to hold, but it was a nice trade regardless. And you can see here, we can refine that up to here, right? That was the most extreme point of interest. What do we have? Consolidation, sweep, break back down. Basically, this whole thing is going to be inducement, and then boom. So if I just move it like this, you can see sweep, break a structure, inducing a point of interest up here. And that's exactly what it does. This is going to be your target down here, right? And so that's exactly what it does. That's the sell model right there. And so, yeah, if you really wanted to enter on that one, I didn't enter on it because it was like it was the news event. The news event was actually at 8:30. So again, we're anticipating a sweep. I was saying it in Telegram. I was waiting for a sweep on liquidity. I thought it might sweep down and then go up higher, but then just seeing how this reacted, wasn't too happy with it. So what ended up happening was it took out this high, and again, you could have just entered right from there if you wanted to. This was in line with 15-minute order flow again, right? If order flow on the 15-minute looked like this, we had like 1, 2, 3, oh, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying, 4, and then so now this was going to be a 5. It was actually, it ended up being right here. But you get the point. It was at a 50, it was following 15-minute order flow super nicely. So you could have definitely taken that and risked it on that. However, what I did was I waited for this right here. Okay, so we're on the 1 minute now. Now it was clear that we swept the structure, we mitigated, and now we broke back down. Super clear to me. We have an inducement right here, and then that, right, this little high here, that induced this point of interest right here. You can see we get a little bit of a response from it. Goes right back down to where? The origin, because now we have a sweep, a break of structure. So it comes right back down to the origin, mitigates out of that, goes back up. This was inducing this little sell here, and you can see that this high here, because again, if I just go into replay mode, wherever that is, right here, when you're looking at price like this, like you're potentially, people are potentially selling, right? Because you're like, oh, wow, okay, price is breaking down from here. So orders are entered in here, stops are put just above here. Well, this is inducing, providing the liquidity to sponsor this level here, right? If I'm short here, say for example, my stop's right here, well then guess what? It's going to get rinsed, and that's where you want to be entering your trade in. And again, you could have done it like this, but I just have a rule not to enter, or not to put my stop here. I put my stop at the strong highs. So I actually entered at 50% of this, and I had a 5.1 pip stop. Oh, maybe it was a little bit more. Okay. So anyways, this is exactly what happened. It popped up like that. Literally caught right the tip of it, and then it went down. Again, if you're looking for targets, your first target is going to be the week low of this structure. Okay, so you have this consolidation, and pretend these wicks and whatever weren't there because it just makes it harder to see, right? It sweeps up, breaks down, comes back up into it, breaks down. So this right here is going to be your first target. If you're just trading intraday, if you have a higher time frame level and you're playing the higher time frame level as opposed to the lower time frame fractal, then don't worry about this. But this is going to be your first target, right? That's going to be the initial target. So again, if you're trading just this structure, then great. That was it right there. So as soon as it tags it, boom. That's it. That's your trade, 3R. But essentially what I was saying was that I believe that price was going to get down to 1.4080 essentially. So yeah, I just basically held a little bit of a piece coming back down here. Again, at the time, it was super choppy, and I wasn't too sure right here. After we got that, I was like, okay, maybe it's going to reverse a little bit, because I had this little point of interest right here. If you actually look on the 1 hour, this little hidden base right below Asian lows, right? This is going to be an area where there's going to be high in, or a high level inducement, right? And so right here was my first take profit right here at that level. And I said, I'm going to basically keep some on and let it go as far as I can. 80% of the daily range, or the anticipated daily range, was right here at 1.42. So this is where I took off again. I took off everything here, but you could have held it for longer if you wanted to. Personally, I just wanted to be out and be done for the day. So that was that. And so, yeah, that was the trade. So you could have taken those both, and you can see how the day ended up going here. You can see what ended up happening was price break structure, comes right back up to this level here, which is going to be the breaker block. Okay. What ends up happening is you have this little consolidation, this break up, and it breaks down. So now you have a confirmation of this breaker block by breaking down this structure. So ultimately, if price comes back up here, you have a little bit of an inducement there, a little imbalance. So you could even take this if you wanted to. Let's see if it gets back up to there. Boom, just like that, right? This was the inducement. You can see it just gets up just a little bit and breaks back down. Again, where's your target going to be at? Well, it's going to be at the next low. You can see that we broke through this level now, though. And so 200 was the next target, I believe, or I think it was 250. 250 was the next target, and then it retraced up, and then retraced up again. Again, I would have personally have been anticipating that it would come up a little bit more and use this as an inducement, but because it broke a little bit there, this was really the structure, and so it just went right down from there, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And then late in the day, it just started melting right back to our level. You can see front runs it, comes back down, digs back a little bit deeper into that level. Why did it dig deeper into that level? Well, because we have an imbalance right around here. Actually, let me go on the 5 minute so I don't over refine it. You can see, boom, right here. Okay, so we have this imbalance and this POI right there. And you can see, do we get down there? Yes, we do. We fill in that imbalance. Then that was it. Low of the day. I believe that's going to be it. It's right there. You can see the reaction off of it. So that's why these zones were working. But again, that was the anticipated low of the day, projected from the beginning of the day, essentially, right from 7:30 a.m., which is right here. Okay, when price was right here. So yeah, it all made sense today. All made sense. Let me just bring up the what's it called, Telegram here, just so you can see I'm not lying. What was it? Was this today? Yeah, so this was it today, right here. So 7:30 a.m. If I were to anticipate the daily low, I'd say it locking around 1.14080, right? That's exactly where we were. What else? So in the beginning of the day, I thought that, again, like I told you, I thought after we swept New York low, we hit this little kind of point of interest, that it was going to come back up. But I did say, as far as looking for retracement longs, they have to be 10 out of 10 because there's so much liquidity pooling on the sell side. I don't want to be the liquidity that today. So again, that's why I wasn't really adamant on taking any longs here, because again, I didn't want to be the liquidity. I know that there's the downside is what the main move of the day wants to be, right? As far as what I can see. And then again, you can see, just look like yesterday, there's no point in trading against this order flow. Look at how efficient, and it's mitigating. And then right here is when the news was just about to come out. And you can see Asia low was still intact. The previous day, Frankfurt low was still intact as well. So I knew that those were going to get absolutely dusted. So don't be a muppet. Don't trade against the clean or efficient order flow. Yeah, and then I said, I think we were going to take out lows for the news. We actually took it out before. And then this is what I said. Yeah, we're trapping both sides. And so that's why I wasn't too sure, because we had this consolidation. We had a sweep of upside, sweep of the downside, then sweep of the upside. And so I was like, I don't know if it's going to retrace back down into here and then continue up or what. But I still had this POI marked out. I knew that we were probably going to come back down from there. And I said, yeah, I'm still anticipating downside from here. And then that's what happens. And then I marked out this, right? So the breaker block right here, and then the fill. And I ended up taking it off of the fill. So I said it's super choppy right now, but at that point, I started to be more inclined for sells. Just personally, I wrote that because I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too confident on it, honestly, with it going down from right here. But especially, yeah, because we swept Asia lows. That's why I said here, sweeping Asian liquidity is a major area of inducement. So I wasn't too sure if this was just going to be another sweep and then continue up. But ultimately, I got my my validation here, and I entered on this position here, like I told you. And that was it. That was really it. And again, anticipating the low of the day at the 14,480. And then, yeah, 14,252 was when I took off. 80% or 80% of the forecasted range was hit. So yeah, the trade was basically done for the day. And then updating it here, 1408 hit. And then I just had a little bit of a message for you guys. But again, you can go check that out if you want. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope that you got something out of this. Definitely be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz. Obviously, only if you want to. If you feel like I'm providing some value, then definitely join. And if not, then no worries. No harm, no foul. It's all good to me. Yeah. All right, guys. Have an amazing weekend. I'll catch you guys next week, and make sure you do some back testing and stuff this weekend, so you can come in to next weekend absolutely smashing. All right. Cheers, guys.